Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everyone. I welcome you to our today class. As usual, we are going to be doing a project today, like tonight rather. So, we are going to implement all what you have been learning so far to do one or two projects. So, basically, we are going to be doing Navbar. We are going to create Navbar this night. So we're going to learn how to style our nav bar after creating it with our HTML elements. So let's kickstart. So now, I hope you can all see my screen. Okay, good. So now, the first thing I'm going to do now, so I'm going to generate my boilerplate as usual. So I want to change the title to nav bar. So I've changed to nav bar. So I'm going to start by creating a div. That's the parent div that I'm going to put. That's going to be a parent div that I'm going to put all my content, the element inside. So I'm going to give this one a class and I'm going to call it navbar. I'm giving it a class because so I can style it, but don't stress yourself about this. We're only building projects, so you might come across what you have not done, but don't be panic. This is just a simple project. So with what you have not done or with what you have done, so just look at them and see how to make use of those things. So like I said, don't panic. So if you come across what you have not done, still don't panic. So let's move on. So this is a parent div. Let me give a space. Let me give a space. Let me give a space. So this is a parent div. I've created this parent div and I give it a class of navbar. I'm giving this class because I want to use external CSS. So so I can style the parent div. So I'm going to create another div. So another div, you know that in every navbar we always have logo, isn't it? We have a place we put our logo. Probably we can use image as logo, or probably we use what's it called, we use text as our logo. Let me show you sample of what I'm talking about. Let me show you sample of what I'm talking about. So let me go to bootstrap. You can see this is a bootstrap. This is the logo here. This is a navbar, and this is the logo of that navbar. You can see the blue icon, right? Yeah, so this is the logo, and these are the nav links, so the anchors. So that's that about that. So let's go back to our VS Code. So now I'm going to create a special div for my logo. So this is the div, and I'm going to give it a class too. So because I want to style it, I want to give it a class called logo, and then inside the logo we can add image and we can add text. But this time around I don't want us to stress ourselves. Let us add text and call it search search search.com. So let's call it search.com. So that should be the logo of what. So let me display this. So at least I want us to be seeing what we are doing. So let me display this. Let me delete this file. So let me copy this and copy parts. Come to this place, go to my browser, create a new folder, a new tab, paste what I copied, I press enter. I will see this search com here. You can all see the search com, right? Yes, so this is the search com. So let me go back to my VS Code and continue. I hope you can see my VS Code. Yeah, so good. So now I have created my what? My logo. So I want to create the icons we have beside my logo, but I'm not going to create it. I'm going to make it big as our expectation, but I'm just going to make it simple. So now I'm going to create a UL. We have all learnt about lists, which we have on no, we have not gotten there though, but in fact we have seen it, isn't it? we have on other list and other list, isn't it? I think RSK, I think you have done something like that. Yes, isn't it? Yes. So we're going to use other list here. Another list, sorry. We're going to use another list here. So inside the other list, we have our li, isn't it? Remember? So I'm going to do this li in more than one times. I think I'm going to do it like four places. Let me put it in four places. So li, another li. I'm only doing this because I just want you to know it. If I'm the one doing this li, I don't need to start creating it one after the other. Once I write my li, then I can duplicate it in four places straight down. But I'm writing it one after the other so you can understand, so it don't feel like maybe I'm doing magic. Do you get that? But that's not even a problem. So I have created this, but I don't have any content inside. So I want to start adding content. Now you know that I want to create an anchor. Is it a navigation links? Do you get that? So and it's a link. So I'm going to use anchor. Do you get that? To wrap all my text that will be in my nav bar. So I will now come to this place. I will create my anchor tag. This is the anchor tag. Then inside the anchor tag, then I will write my first nav link, which is probably home. I'm going to write home here. So I put home here. Then I do the same thing. I create my anchor tag. Then I put probably about. This is how they create navbar. Simple navbar. Then I do the same thing. I put in between my anchor. Then I write my services. Then I go again, put my anchor in between them. Then I write my contact. Yeah, I write my contact. Hey, sorry. I write my contact. So let me go to the screen and see what we have. So this is my screen. Let me refresh. I refresh. You can see what we have on the screen. So it's not making sense though. This is not, but you see that our nav bar, our anchors rather is represent our nav links rather is representing anchors, like it's serving as a link that will link us to our own page, about page, services page, and our contact page. So that's why I'm using anchor in that list. Do you get that? Instead of me writing only text, so I use anchor to wrap it. That's the links. That's the list. So now let me go back to my VS Code. Then what else do we need to do? Now there's something I want to do. There's something I want to do here. I want to change. I told you that div can serve as a container, isn't it? Hello, are we together? I said div, you can use div is like a container, but I don't want to use div this time around. I want to use nav, because this is also a container, and exactly this is what we are creating. So instead of me using div here, I just want to use nav. I just want to use So nav is now the one serving as a parent div that is controlling all the content we have inside the navbar. So in this nav we are seeing here is still part of element, but is what is navigation element. So that is why I want to use the right element so we can understand. We can also use div though, it's going to work. It's going to be perfect too. They are all it's just a container. So if I go to my Chrome now, I refresh, it's still the same thing I'll see on the screen. No changes, no different. So it's still now, but I just want to use the right element so we can understand better. So what I did here is that I created enough enough elements. So I gave it a class of navbar. I call it navbar. This is the open tag, this is the end tag. So inside this parent div, then I have another div inside, which is the one controlling the logo. So I gave it a div. I created a div. I gave it a class name of logo. Then I have the word search.com inside. So that is one thing. So this is a child. This is a child inside the parent div. So I have another child too. So the child is what is on other lists. So this another list, it's also a list that has children too. which we have our li, anchor. We all know how to do this, right? We are even though we don't know how to do, but at least we have seen something like this before. Are we together? Please, are we together? Please, I want this class to be an interactive class. Please don't leave me alone in this talky abeg, please. Okay. Thank you for doing that. Okay, now so I want to continue. So any questions so far? Salam, is there any question? So since there is no question, so I think this is everything we're going to be doing in our HTML. So the next job is what is our style. So you know that I told you that the basic thing there is the styling. So this is just the HTML format. This is everything we have as a navbar with HTML. But with a style, we can make it look good, look dynamic. In fact, actually, we are creating a static file though, but we can make it look nice. So that's just it. Make it look nice. So without wasting much of our time, so let me go to let me go back and then let me create my style. So I come to this place, I create my style. But I'm using, this time around, I want somebody to answer the question. Salam, sorry, what type of style is this? What type of that we have how many ways do we use our inline how many ways do we use our HTML style attributes? Yeah, mention two there. You don't go far. Mention two. No wahala, it's fine. Which one am I doing now? Mr. RSK, please, which one am I doing now? This type of style I'm using, what type of style is this? Correct. I'm using an external style. So that's it. So I have my HTML in one file and I have my style in another file. So now, RSK, please can you tell me, because as okay, don't tell me anything. Let's proceed. Probably I will use that as text for two of you in this class. I will do something, then I will ask you to tell me what happened. So as a developer, you should know how to debug. So now let's start styling our project. So let's start styling our project. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write a comment here. This comment I'm going to first of all do reset, because our web page, there are some things on our web page that is basically inputted with Chrome. Do you get that? So and I want to remove all the default settings that we have on our Chrome. I want to remove them first. Do you understand? Yes, because you see that, let me tell you something that we don't understand. You see, um on Chrome, if you had maybe you have H1 and you had a particular size to that H1, maybe padding of 20. When the H1 get to Chrome will automatically add some default style to it too. Do you get that? So it will pass the style with what the volume you added to that thing will exceed the number of the value you set to it. So that is why it is always advisable to remove the default settings from Chrome. I don't know if you guys are getting what I'm saying. Yeah, what I'm saying is that there are some default settings. See, just like as you are now, if you want to get an apartment, if normally you get an apartment, some will be painted. Some eh? Yeah, that's why I put a comment of general reset to just reset all the default things that we have there. Like I was using this house illustration wherever. What I'm saying is that if you get an apartment, you know the apartment will be painted, but you might not like the color. Do you know that? You know that sometimes even the wall we have holes, but you don't like it. But these are the things you met there. Even the kitchen might not even have wardrobe, cupboard rather. You might not like them. That these are the default things that the landlord did to that house. The landlord painted the house red, and you are not from Shango family, so you feel like, oh, I want to reset everything. I want to change the default settings that this landlord has made to this house. I want to take it back to my own cool, my own standard default. Do you get that? So that is what I'm talking about. That there are some things that Chrome added on his own page. Do you get that? So if you add maybe background color now, then before you know, okay, don't worry, I will give you a sample. Probably I will do some things for you to understand. But for now, like I told you earlier, you might meet some things that you don't understand, or probably you might meet something that you have not done before. Don't be panic. We are only working on projects. Projects sometimes we meet what we have not done. You get that? So you just try to ask questions. So when you are doing that thing, you can get more understanding. Is that clear? So now the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to call on those elements that I know that Chrome will add a default settings to it. Number one, Chrome always add default to the whole body. That's the whole body of the web page. Then also the UL, it will also add a default settings to it. Even the LI, it will add default settings to it, and the A. So if you want to call them in different, now let me just, I might not teach you go far like this. Do you get it? I just want to tell you something. If you are calling multiple elements, you are expected to separate them with comma. You will not write it the way I'm writing it this way. Do you get that? You are expected to separate them with comma. So you just be putting comma like you are calling them. That's why we are calling multiples what's it called? Multiples elements. So this is what I'm doing now. So the next thing we are going to do now is to, so by defaultly our Chrome had margin to our margin to the web page. So we are going to remove the margin. So we are going to call on margin and make it a zero. So we will not have margin, we will not have a default margin on the what? On the web page. So another thing is that I'm going to call a padding. So I'm going to call a padding too. I will make what? I will make it zero. Like I said, don't stress yourself. I can't use this project to teach all the CSS syntax attribute that we have, but just follow up with what I'm doing. We're only building a project so we can see how our how webs looks like. Are we together? So please, like I said, if you have any question, you can ask me. So now the next thing I'm going to write is this list type. I'm going to remove this list type. What is the function of this list type? The list type is used to remove these dots. You know that by defaultly you can see on our screen that our what's it called, our UL, the list that we have here, it has a default dot here. You can see that there's a dot here, dot at the front of this text. You can see that, right? Please let's be active. So yes, so we use style, this list style, we use it what? We use it to remove this kind of dot from our element. So let me refresh now so you can see what I'm talking about. Now I want you to focus on this part. There's, if you look at this search comb here, the distance between this search comb and the edge, this edge here, I want you to check something. Let me zoom it very well so you can see. So distance from here to here, I want you to just notice something, and notice this dot, because I've added some features to it. So that's the margin and the lister type. So let me refresh and see what will happen. I refresh, but nothing happens because I make this list style type to be none, this list style rather to be none. But the problem is that this dot suppose to remove. We are not supposed to see this dot here, but it's not working. Can anyone tell me why it's not working? Okay, to make it more clearer, let me add a background color to the whole body. That is, this thing to have I'm expecting this the whole body to what to have a red color, but now I refresh, the red color is not working. Can anyone tell me why this thing is not working? Oh yeah, now in what way? Can you explain? Okay, to burst our brain, this is UL, right? Now you can see that in my style there's a UL here, which I've called. But I didn't just call only the UL. I had this I That's why I said I called in multiples. I call the UL, I call the LI, and I call the anchor. I even call the whole body. Now I call them here and I put this bracket you're talking about, and I added everything here, but it's not working. Where is the style? Where am I going to add style? At the top where? Okay, okay. Style like this. Salam, this is wrong. Salam, can you tell me why it's not working? No, I've added this color to it. It's supposed to show background color, and I've added this list style, which is supposed to remove that dot dot. So why is it not working? Somebody, RSK, you are partially right with what you are saying, but you are not saying it very well. Eh? Can you just think about it and see what you can how you, no. This general reset is not just is nothing. Do you get that? This is nothing. We don't need to bother about it. What I'm only doing, why I even call it general reset? I am the one that gave it that name. Oh. I gave it the name general reset. And the general why I call it general reset is that when you start styling, do you get that? Chrome automatically add a margin to this particular screen you are seeing here, this page you are seeing here. There is a margin here between this place. I don't Okay, do you know what? You might not You will get it now, but I want us to answer that question so I can show you the job of that general resetting that we are doing. But I want you to guys to just reason and tell me why this background color is not even showing background color as red on the screen. Why am I going to call the style? It's not necessary I call everyone. The one I called, at least I should see their function. I'm not. I'm here. Those 00 is not something we see because we did not call 00. But me, I'm talking about the background color now. At least supposed to be see red. So now let me since we did not remember. I know that I've talked about this, but we did not remember. But I will try to tell us that we should try as much as possible to put our mind and our soul in whatever we are working on, probably in what we are doing. So the thing is that the reason why this thing is not working, this is my HTML, this is my CSS. Two of them have nothing to do with each other. We are supposed to connect them together, so at least two of them can collide, they can work with each other. So, and which I've explained that day, that for you to, when you start with your external CSS, do you have anybody that joined the stuff? Are we there? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So as I was saying, when we have this kind of scenario like this, when we are dealing with external HTML, like external stuff like that, the first thing that comes to our mind is to connect your HTML and CSS together. That's the first thing that need to come to your mind, to connect your HTML and CSS together. So how do we do that? I have explained this, that after this title inside your head, do you get that? Not your head that you have there, like your head section. Do you get that? You are going to link your CSS, and in fact I even told us the shortcut, because we are using boilerplate. So once you just write link, you will see it will pop up. You will see a favicon, you will see CSS here. So you're going to click on that CSS and look at it. You are going to make sure that the name written here is the same thing as the name you saved your file. But if you notice that the name here is a styles, there's S at the back, but there's no S at this one. So this is just a style. So let me add S to it. So two of them can now collide. You can see they have the same name. So two of them can now work together. Now, so CSS now can work with HTML. So let's go to our web page. Let's see, maybe we'll see any changes. Are we there? Are we ready to see the changes? If you are ready to see the changes, let's say hi. If you are ready to see the changes, let's say ah. No, no raise up your hands. So let's say hi. Ah, ẹ̀gbọ́n. So Faruku, is it not there? Is it out? Okay, now let me proceed. Now let me now refresh. I refresh. Wow, I've seen the changes. So now we know the reason why this thing is not working, because we have not connected the two together. So this is the reason why it's not working. So let me remove my background, this thing away from here. So I only use that to see what I actually talked about. So now let me go back and refresh. Now, what's it called? RSK. Since you are with me, now the function of what to ask me now, what's the function of this general reset, this thing? Now let's assume I don't have general reset. I cut out this, go back to my web page. I want you to see changes there. What happened? There's a space here at the top of this search, isn't it? This space is called margin. There's a margin here, automatic margin. That's what Chrome will add to it. It will add a margin top. There's a space here too, margin left. There's another one here, margin right, and there's a bottom there too. And also there's a padding. You can see that there's a space between these two. There's a padding. So that's a default. We don't want those things. So that is why we take them back. So now let me comment out this. I don't want us to see the job of this yet. So let's see the padding rate and the padding and the margin. Let's see their job. So let's go back to it and refresh. You can see when we refresh, this margin padding, yes. Now there's no space at the top of this one again. You can see there's no space. Before before, here you can see, let me take it back. When I refresh, this is what we have. If I highlight on this thing, you can see we have a space here and a space here. You can see that's the margin. Defaultly computer will add it to it, but we don't want it. Do you get that? You always try to remove it when you start working on style. So did you understand that? So now this style, I'm now going to use this list style to remove this dot dot dot. Now As you are seeing it now, it's not there, but I just want you to do so. I want to do something now. Let me highlight this. Sorry, can you just give me a minute, please? Yeah. Hello? Yeah, how far? No, good or bad? Good or bad? Láti dé tó máa kù mí. Láti délé tó máa kù mí, máa pè máa fi láìláì ká. No, no, no. Kọ̀ọ̀bẹ mo ṣe kọ̀ fún ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀gbọ́n fẹ́ẹ́ nìkan ìgbà ló gbé wá níbi. Yeah, sorry, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. So I want us to see the function of this list start type. So now let me refresh. You can see when I refresh, this dot dot is not there again. Are we there? Yes, but if I take it away and I come to this place, I refresh, the dot 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 will come back. If I return the list type, I make it none. When you are writing this list type or list type, anyone you put it, that you write list type because this is it. I'm used to that list type. You can see it's still the same job. List type or you write just list type. If you write list type, make it none. It will take away the dots too. You can see. So it's still the same thing. So you can leave it as list style and also it is still working as the same thing. So let's take back our margin 0 and padding 0. Please do we understand now? Now the next thing I'm going to do now, so let's see where we are now. So this is where we are. So this is where we are now. Good. Now I want to remove this underline of a thing. I want to remove this underline. I want to remove the underline. So what do I write to remove underline? I will write my text decoration. I think I've done this before. So you get. So I'm going to write my text decoration. This is my text decoration. I will make it none because I don't want it. Do you get that? I don't want it. We are going to talk about this thing one after the other. When we start CSS, we are going to explain each of them one after the other. But I'm just using them as project for to do project now. So you see that I refresh. I did not see the underline again. Are we together? So another thing I want to remove a box sizing. So I talked about this box sizing that day, which I said it to set to border box. So no, I did not talk about it. It's somebody else. Sorry. So now this is the box sizing. This is the box sizing. Well, we set it to border box. It's also a default. It's also very important for us to remove it. Do not see any changes though because it's from the default. So I think I'm done with the general settings now. So these are the things we need to do for the general settings. Now let me go and start my normal styling. So let's start with the navbar. Let's start the navbar. So I'm going to write it as a comment. Let's start the navbar container first. Let's start the navbar container. So let me highlight this. So now I've highlighted this. Let's go to the next stage and let's now go and call the nav bar. Remember that I created a div which is a nav div here. So which is serve as a container. So I'm going and I gave it a class. So automatically this name you see here is a class but it's also assigned to this. So if you call nav or you call nav bar, if you call this nav bar, anything you do to this nav bar will still affect this element. Do you get it? That's why I gave it a class. But don't stress yourself about this. We are still going to explain better than this. So let me go to my what? To my styles. So now this is a class. For me to be able to call class, I need to first add a dot at the front of the class. Then I now write the name of the class. Then I do this. Like I said, don't stress yourself about this. I'm still going to explain this better. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to write a display. Now, you know that we talked about display that day. That I told you that you can display flex. Do you get that? This thing is showing horizontally. So that display now you can change the display of the direction of display that is the direction. You can change the direction of whatever you have on the screen on your web page. You can change the direction. So now let's try to change the direction and use display flex on it. Flex will make it to go on horizontal line. So I'm going to call it flex. I'm going to call it flex. So this is a flex. If I go there now and refresh, you will see changes. You see they have these two div display flex shows that this is a search com and this is a div on its own, this another div on its own. So two of them are able to stay beside each other. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So the next thing we're going to do to the nav link now, you're going to justify content. There's something we call justify content. Don't stress yourself on it. You are also trying to what? You are just trying to build a small project. Let's see how this thing will work for us. Let's see. This is our first time seeing all this. So I added the justify content and I'm added space between. So let's see the job of this justify content. So I refresh. Hey, wow! E moved this particular anchors here, this list, move it to the other side and add space in between them. Wow, this is nice though. This is nice. So let's go back and see what else we can add there. Let's add align items. Let's align the items. So now align the items, let's make it to be center. Let's go there and see the job of these align items. Let me refresh. Are we ready to see that? So as I refresh, you see that this thing moves to the center. That shows that this line and this line, they are on a straight line. That is why this thing is able to move to the center. Before it was at the top here, but now I'm able to move them on it. If I had background color now, you see what I'm saying, but don't stress yourself now. So let's continue. Let's see what next, what we can add to it. Let's add the padding to it. Let me add the padding. We're going to add the padding top. Wow, automatically I have it here. So I'm going to add a padding. So this 10 now, I'm going to add a padding 10 pixel and I'm going to add a 20 pixel. You see this 10 pixel will work for up, top and bottom, and this one will work for left and right. So this is a space for, this is a padding size I want to add for the top and bottom and also for the left and right. So if I go back to my Chrome and I refresh my page, you will see the changes. He added space here, the space here and here. The other space at the back of this list and here also this place. That's exactly what I wanted. I don't want the default one that the Chrome added for me. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to add the background color to it. So I'm going to add the background color. This time around, I'm going to use this format to write a background color. This is what you have. This is a format oh, is a color. This format is a color. Do you get that? This is a color. If I go there and refresh, you will see what I'm talking about. You see I refresh. Wow, it's like a gray. So either you use this format or you write your text whatever. So let's use black. Let's use black. Let's write it, but don't stress yourself in that format I wrote oh. You get that? So let's use black. Now I use black. Wow, my text here is also black. So two of them are, they are black together. Wow. So this my text, okay, these ones are purple, correct. So let's go. Let's see what else we can add to it. So let's make the color, let's change all the color to white. Oh wow. My AI added everything as white. Correct. So let's go to Chrome and see how to, let's go to Chrome and see if we have changed the color to white. Now I refresh. Wow, this color is now white, correct. But this is still there because I've not touched. I'm only dealing with the container. Now I've not touched this. I've not start styling it because this is the anchor. So now, what next that do I need to do now? So let me style this logo in particular. This logo we are seeing here, I want to style it in particular. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to write logo. So I want to highlight it so we can see that it's logo that I'm styling. Are we together? So now I want to call logo. Logo is a class. Remember that we added logo as a class here. This is it, it's a class. So before I call a class, I need to have a dot at the front and open this bracket as usual. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the font size. I'm going to change the font size of this text. Let me add like 24 pixel. So now I'm adding it as 24 pixel, like the size of this thing. I want to increase it. So let me refresh. Wow, it increased. This is dope. Correct. Are we enjoying it? Are we enjoying the design? Hello, are we enjoying the design? Hello, are we enjoying the design? Is anyone there? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, the class will end soon, but that's not a problem. I'm going to send a new link just for us to finish the project. So are we enjoying the class? So it may look, yes, yes, it may look so bored, but at least we are trying to just build a project for the first time. So let's add a font weight to it. Let's add a font weight and let's make it probably bold. I think we have used it that day, isn't it? So let's see how the bold will work. Wow, it bold our text, correct. Let's move on. Let's see what else we can add to. Let's add the color. You know we have added color though, but that color is a what is for the whole um is for the whole container, but let me have it, let me add this color to it in specific. So it's still the same thing, it's still white. So now let me, I think that's okay for the nav, that's okay for the, what's it called, that's okay for the logo. So let's see other thing that we can style too here. Let's see another thing we can style here. Let's see another thing we can, eh? Okay, okay, okay. So let me add a class here. Let's just continue. Let me add a class here. I don't want to call this view like that. I just want to add a class. I want to call it a nav link. Yeah, I dey hear you. Okay, no problem. Don't worry, just this is a project. I will send a video record. So yeah, yeah, the class will end soon. The class will end in the next probably in the next 30 minutes, but I'm going to create another class if you have not finished it. So now let me continue. So I don't want to call this UL like that. I want to add a class to it so I can call it direct in my HTML. So let me my CSS. So let me come to this place and call it. So I'm going to add a dot before I call this one. So now what do I add to this? Let me see what I can. Let me just display this as flex. Wow, my AI did that for me. Correct. My AI say that I should display it as flex. That's exactly what is in my mind. Wow. And I should add a gap of 20 pixels. Correct. That's exactly what is in my mind to do. So now let me see the job of that. Correct. Wow. It splitted my anchors. Wow, you know that this thing I called is a UL. This particular nav link represents UL. This is it here. So this is a UL. Is a class name of this UL. Instead of me calling UL. In fact, if I don't want to add this, I can even erase this. I can erase this. I call UL. It will still do the same thing. Do you get that? If I refresh, you see that it's still the same thing. I refresh and it's still the same thing. But to just make your work look good, it's not all the time that you be calling the element, but you can assign this class. This class is here is used to assign name to element. Do you get that? You use to assign another name. I want to assign another name to element. So that's the job of it. So you can use class or you can use ID. So now I've used what class and I put dot at the front. That's the basic rule. So now I think my this thing is making sense now. Wow, it's making sense now. It's becoming a good web navbar. So let's see what else we can add to it. So let's go ahead and start and call on our li and the anchor of the airline. These two things, let's call on them. Firstly, let's add color to them. The color, or let's add the white color to it. So this is just a project though, like I said, don't stress yourself. I'm only doing this project just for you to keep it, just document it down. So in case you start learning and start, maybe you want to start building project and you want to learn how to create a navbar, a simple navbar, you can quickly come and just check this video, then you can use it to build your own. Probably we are given an assignment. So now I'm going to add 18 pixel to this. So I've added 18 pixel just to increase the front size of this anchor. Now this thing I'm styling this anchor. This is the anchor here. This is text of the anchor. I have increased the size and also changed the color to white. So let me refresh and see the changes. Wow, the text increased and the color changes to white. This is nice. This is nice. This is nice. And another thing I want to do over effect to the anchor. So let me call the anchor and do over effect. You know how to do Mr. RSK, you know how to do anchor, right? Over effect, right? So I'm going to add a color to it. So I want to add a color of what color should I add to this? So okay, let me just see the color that fits the stuff. I think I should add orange red. Let me add orange red. So let me add orange red. Yeah. So let me go and refresh. Wow. So how does this work? Who can tell me how does this effect over effect works? Wow, wow, wow. That's nice. That's nice. That's over effect. Once I over on the each text, you can see the color changes. Wow, this is nice though. Looking cool. Wow, this is nice. It's nice though, right? It's nice, right? Yeah, this is very simple. This is how to create a simple navbar. This is a navbar. This is how to create a navbar. You can see. This is how to create a navbar. This is how to create a, yes. Yeah, yes, yes. Because there's no time again. I think let me check the time now. We have 8 minutes left. So this is everything we need to write if we are writing our if we are creating our navbar. So the first thing, they're going to create a parent div. So I'm only adding class because it's good to add class. It's good to give a specific name to your element. So now we are going to I created a container which is a nav container with a class of navbar. I only add this class because of style, so I can call it in the external file. So I created another div from a logo. So this is this, and I named the class of logo. I also create another list with my li. So I use my anchor to wrap my text so it can serve as a link. So I did that to about, service and contact. Then I close the tag, everything here. Then I go to my CSS. First of all, I look at it. Let me just do a general reset. Let me just reset the body default that Chrome we had to my web page. So I remove the margin. I remove okay now let's see something. Let's take away this margin and let's see how our website will look like. You know I told you that oya let me refresh now. Immediately I refresh, what happen? There's a default margin and there's a default padding. The padding is that this this my navbar is bigger than the one I did. So that's the padding. And this my navbar too, there is a margin at the left, right and the bottom. So that's what I told you, that we always remove a default setting that Chrome added. So if I take it back now, you will see that the size of this thing will reduce and the margin will leave there. You can see the size reduced and the margin left the web page. Is that clear? Don't worry, you watch the video, and because I've explained it very very well. Miss RSK, you that you are in, is that one cleared? You can't see my screen, go out and you can't see my screen, go out and come back again. RSK, can you see my screen? Maybe it's the network. You can see it now, right? So let me do what I just did now. I said, I told you about the margin default earlier. The margin, the default of this margin and the padding that our Chrome will add to our web page. So this is the effect of it. If I remove it from it, like I did not even remove the default. If I refresh, you see that defaultly there's a margin left and top bottom around this my navbar. And this size of this number is bigger because there's a padding inside. Do you get that? Did you get that? Okay, so let me take it back. So this is just everything. This is everything. So I add my comment navbar, I make it flex. You might not understand a lot of things that we have here. Please just bear with me. I will still, when we get to CSS, we are going to do more and learn more on each of these things that we use. Thank you for attending this class. I really appreciate our time. So if there's any questions, please let's go to the group and drop the question there. So let's have a nice day.
I get tired. You get tired.